Hello, I'm Amy Zawi with the Jerusalem Connection Friday Red Alert for November 10. Nikki Haley, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, is standing by her position, supported by the Trump administration as a whole, to combat bias against Israel at the UN and call it out. Not only has the U.S. removed itself and its money from UNESCO as of January 1, this viable threat remains to remove the U.S. and its money from other organizations within the UN, particularly for things such as the blacklist, a list of companies doing business with Israel who then should be shunned by the UN. This is a form of BDS by the UN, and Nikki Haley will have none of it. On November 4th, Nikki Haley made the following quote in D.C. and with pithiness and pointedness conveyed a harsh reality, and I quote, "It is no secret that the UN is a hostile place for Israel. The rough breakdown at the UN is half the time spending on Israel, the other half on the other 192 countries." She then went on to praise Israel for the fact that it remains in the UN despite, quote, "almost constant harassment and hostility." The open threat that the UN is going to pull out of the U.S. will pull out of UN councils and pull out its money remains, as also it openly criticizes the Obama administration's abstention from a UN vote to condemn Israel. This abstention by de facto was actually an approval. In campus news, Rutgers University now has a new full-time professor, a Syrian diplomat who has spent his career traveling the world and espousing bold-faced lies about Israel, including the fact that it traffics in human organs and those of children. Well, he has a new job now, and it's with our university students here in the U.S. At Northwestern University on November 2nd, outside the Halal House, the Students for Justice in Palestine, a group who predominantly supports and organizes BDS activities on college campuses, were protesting in large numbers against, of all things, IDF soldiers who were coming to the Halal House to share their stories. The school, to its credit, did provide extra security and police presence to ensure that the students at Halal House and the IDF soldiers had the opportunity to exercise their free speech and freedom of assembly. It was interesting because an Al Jazeera reporter was there to take pictures at the demonstration in the public arena, and when an SJP student who claimed to be a journalism student himself asked the reporter what organization he was from, and he said a Jewish newspaper, the Al Jazeera, the student went on to ask if he could please ask permission before snapping pictures of the event. The Al Jazeera reporter reported how little the Northwestern University journalism students know about journalistic integrity and law about photographing in public places. On the retail side of BDS, Boycott, Divest, and Sanction the State of Israel, a Scottish Jewish retailer who sells cosmetics from the Dead Sea, has been harassed and chased out of 3 cities already in the area. The Scottish Palestine Solidarity Campaign, who insists they are not racist nor anti-Semitic, but that they hate the company and not the individual, and they hate the sinner and not the sin, has managed to systematically chase Nissan Aliyan out of 3 separate cities for his retail establishments. He had to close up stalls in Belfast and Glasgow and is now in Aberdeen, where he still faces harassment. Nissan Aliyan said he compares his treatment to, quote, a game of Chase the Jew. Mr. Aliyan also told the BBC Scotland, "It's like I don't have a right to exist. I have to justify my existence and ask for permission to walk and to even work. We are accused of murdering, mass murdering, slaughter criminals. We are called a criminal enterprise. We are called baby killers. Now there's no place for me to go, and I love it here. Where's my equal opportunity?" So from the halls of the UN to the halls of major universities to the halls of our retail establishments and malls, the BDS activities are ongoing and rear its ugly head in all sorts of places. It is our responsibility to shine a light on that. Here at the Red Alert Report, my goal is to share with you these unique stories that are not so uncommon that the mainstream press systematically overlooks. With this information, you can take it and do what you can from your corner of the world. You can pray, you can donate money to organizations, you can volunteer with organizations, and you can simply spread the truth verbally and through your own social media connections so that these stories are made aware to the general public. Most reasonable people would agree that these actions are not right. Actions by the UN, actions by student groups that have anti-Semitism at their core, and actions by people who discriminate in the business world. Shavua Tov, have a great week, and Shabbat Shalom.